Yo,
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What country are you at, man?
I'm in Canada, bro.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. What
I'm
about you?
I'm in Israel.
In Israel.
Yeah, dudes.
How is it like there?
Other than the war crap, it's pretty great for the most part.
War crap is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah,
You just
man.
want peace, eh?
That's all I want.
That's good, man.
Yeah, bro. Us too. That's all we want. We don't want this war to continue, but
Yeah, we got to do it. We got to defend ourselves. It sucks, but whatever.
it does suck.
Yep.
Where's the 90?
Brother,
You have kids or something, sir?
Can I ask why that matters?
It doesn't matter. I'm just asking. I was gonna ask how they were doing it or what.
It's not easy for children to go through this crap. That's for sure. I can tell you that. It's not easy. But
No, I was gonna ask. How are your children? How's your family and stuff? How's your family?
yeah, I mean, everybody has to cope with this crap. You got to run to bomb shelters every once in a while. It's not fun. So, and you got to protect yourself and all that shit. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
At least we have bomb shelters because we invested in that shit. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
That's good.
but it's still crap. Having to do that and whatever.
Yeah. How long do you think it's gonna go on for?
The shorter the better, but I'm not particularly overly optimistic. Like, I think that the ceasefire is going to break and that we're going to have another serious round of fighting. And it's probably going to be the end at that point. But how long that will take, I don't know. It could be 3 months, could be a month, could be three. I mean, it could be longer, but it could be quite quick, or it could be, depends on what strategy they decide to use. But I think that the ceasefire is going to fail, unfortunately, because the guys who are running Gaza at the moment, they don't want to give up power, even though they agreed to do it. So we're probably going to have to go back and fight for them, fight against them again soon, which sucks, because we got a lot of people who have to go in and do that, but war is hell, as they say. War is hell. And it really is. Like, I don't know if either of you guys have ever seen action or been in war or anything like that, but it is not fun,
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, well, it's good to have conversation. We didn't really talk about
Sure.
which side we
Sure.
either stand on. It's good to have conversations about it.
You can certainly express your opinions. I'm just sitting here in a room full of people on Discord and YouTube and stuff, and whatever. It's not, but I'm delighted to have this conversation with you guys. Really, you both seem really like cool dudes, and whatever your opinions are, I respect them. So it's all right. Like, if you say it in a respectful manner, as I try to do, we can all get along.
You know what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you said the dudes, you're talking about Hamas, eh?
The people in Gaza that are running Gaza right now are Hamas. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not. We don't agree with them, right?
Yeah, I don't agree with Hamas with what they're doing. They're doing bad things.
Hey,
Here's the thing.
he has a different bit of a view than I do.
Of course,
Of course, I see Hamas as
religion plays into this war. I feel.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
For some reason, religion does play into this war. And so I'm a Muslim, and I stand with the Muslim brothers and sisters in Palestine and Gaza, right?
Okay.
And so, no, I see the suffering on both sides, and of course,
Yeah. I believe me, I see the suffering on the Palestinian side, and from my point of view, I would love it if they would really be free. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
So, but I understand. I know you want to get your thoughts.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah, anyways, yeah. So I prefer peace on both sides.
Yeah.
Right. Now here's the thing. I feel like one side is like partying, right? One side's having this partying stuff. One side's like really in good shape, and then the other side's kind of struggling. Now,
You're right.
when you talk about the political stuff, I'm not really sure much about it, but when you talk about civilian wise though, for the civilians, there's one there's a group of civilians who are having fun every weekend, and then there's a group suffering.
You're right. No, you're totally right. It sucks to be in war, and that's why Israel needs to get rid of the Hamas, because the Hamas doesn't let the Palestinians in Gaza have any fun. Like, they don't let their people be equal. They don't treat black people the same as any other. They still have a neighborhood there. I don't know if you know this. Do you know about the Al Abid neighborhood in Gaza? Al Abid means the slave in Arabic, and that's the neighborhood in Gaza where they used to house the slaves when they still had a slave market, going back many hundreds of years, which they stopped about, almost a century ago or so, or a little bit more than that. But they still call that neighborhood the slave neighborhood, and that's still where the 18,000 black people in Gaza pretty much all live, which is kind of crazy. Like, they don't treat people like, forget gays and lesbians and all that. They have no place in Gaza, and there was a snack that until very recently was also called head of the slave, Ras al-Abid, which means head of the slave. And it's like this chocolate snack with like a white marshmallow thing inside, whatever. It's like covered in dark chocolate. And it's like just unbelievable racism and misogyny in that society, which is very, very sad. And I wish they'd have equal rights. I want them to be free. Yeah, I want them to be really free and have equal rights in their society and have the right to actually choose their own leaders on a regular basis, not just once every 50 years or something, The last time that they had a vote in Gaza, they elected Hamas. That was in 2005. They haven't had a vote since then because Hamas doesn't want them to have a vote. They don't want women to be equal. They want women to wear coverings on their head, even though they technically have the right to not do it. They're pressured socially to do it. It's not fun. So, I want them to be able to practice their religion freely, however they want. Just like, in Israel, we have 2 million Arabs that are Muslim, and another couple 100,000 that are Christian. Like 22% of our population is Arab in Israel. They have Israeli ID just like me. They have all the same rights and legal privileges as me. In fact, they don't even have to serve in the army like I would, like I have to as an Israeli, or like every other Israeli practically has to do. They don't have to serve because we don't want them to have to serve against their Arab brothers. But they can volunteer, and some do, Yeah, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, you support your brothers and sisters in Palestine, bro. I totally get that. I support them being free. Like, I want them to have real rights. I don't want them to be oppressed by. In Gaza, they're oppressed by Hamas, and in what you call the West Bank, what I call Judea, Samaria, right? The Palestinian Authority oppresses them in many of the same ways. By the way, they just happen to be more secular than the Hamas, which is more religious. But there's no difference in how they oppress their people, right? They're not allowed to speak freely. They're not allowed to criticize the government. It's the Muslims constantly overpopulated Bethlehem, or basically drove out the Christians by population and social pressure, etc. And also in Nazareth, which is just sad. Nazareth is in Israel, Bethlehem's in Palestine or the West Bank, or Palestine doesn't really exist as a country or formally, but in that area that the Palestinians control. There's a lot of social inequity in this country, like in this area, right, in the Palestinian areas, and also some social discrimination here in Israel. But the difference is that in Israel, we don't have laws that say like no Muslims can live here, right? I can't go live in an area controlled by Palestinians in Judea, Samaria, or in Gaza, right? I'm not allowed to. They would kill me, right, literally. But there are plenty of Arabs living in Israel, and we live in peace, So that's the difference in our societies, basically. But bro, my heart wants nothing more than for us to have peace in this land. And I can tell you, every Israeli that I know in person wants the same thing. Like people that I actually know in real life. Online, different story, but in real life, the people I actually know, they want peace.
Do you mind telling me what your opinion on what Zionism is then?
Oh yeah, it's not my opinion. There's a very clear definition of political Zionism, which was founded by Teddy Herzl in 1896 and put forth at the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland. And the definition is very simply the right for Jews to have self-determination in our homeland, which is Israel, obviously. That's it, right? That's it. So if you believe Americans have the right to live in America, or Japanese people have the right to live in Japan, or people from Congo have the right to live in Congo, or French people have the right to live in France, or English people have the right to live in England, there's no reason for you not to believe that Jews have the right to live in Judea or Samaria or Israel, which is literally our homeland. Like, Jews come from Judea. But right now, the Palestinian Authority actually controls a lot of Judea, and Israel controls some of it, and same with Samaria. It's also mixed there. And Jerusalem has also special borders, and Hebron has special borders. And like control and stuff like that, but Gaza is like 100%. You know, Israel pulled out of Gaza completely, man, woman, and child, and dead people. We literally dug up all the graves of all the dead Jews in Gaza and brought them back to Israel to be buried in Israel, because we knew what the Hamas would do if they, you know, got their hands on their dead bodies. So, you know, we left there in 2005 and said, "Here, take it, make a country." And unfortunately, they built terror tunnels and rockets and all this other stuff instead of investing in a better future for their people, which is what we were all hoping and praying for, and it didn't turn out to be that way, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, but you know, it's a complicated situation, man. It's just, and I respect you both for speaking frankly about it. I really admire you for sharing your opinion with me about it, bro. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, sir. Thank you for giving us this like.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, we're Canadian, but yeah.
Oh, well, happy Canadian Thanksgiving then.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, guys. You take care now. Peace. Nice dudes.